Hi, this is Chloe here at Inner Whispers. Today I'm going to do a video review of the Goddess Power Pack, authored by Cordelia Brabs and with illustrations by Javier Joaquin. This book is the companion book. I don't have the packaging to show you, but you can imagine it's quite chunky given the size of the book. And it's not just a little white book, there's a fair bit of information here. And over half the book actually is made up of general information, as opposed to the information about the cards doesn't start until page 66. So all of this, there's 5 spreads, and there's also information about what goddesses are, how to use them as a spiritual tool, how to be what they call a G-girl or a goddess girl, and how to set up a G-gang, your goddess gang, how to create circles and invocations, affirmations, and how to do rituals. One thing is that it is definitely aimed at a teen audience. The word cool is used rather too often, probably, like here. Just think of all the cool things you can do with your body. Then next page, goddess spirituality is cool. Anyhow, despite that, it is really very good and useful. It would certainly be a brilliant introduction to goddess cards, goddess spirituality, or an oracle for any teen. And, you know, the stuff that it gives about being a G-girl, I mean, the G-girl codes. G-girls love their bodies, live with passion and compassion, are fearless, responsible, positive, chilled, green girls. G-girls choose abundance, they stick together and are powerful. So the messages are very empowering and positive. And then you have sort of set up your own goddess gang, which is basically a little bit like a coven, to be honest. Once again, you have your G-gang code, which they go into more detail with, but with whole regular meetings, find the perfect space, be kind to members, let every G-girl speak, keep it confidential, no ego trips, no bitching, be a full-time G-gang, invite the goddesses, and have fun. So I think it's certainly a very good introduction, gives lots of information, tells you why to use circles, how to set them up, closing a circle, and a little bit about all the sabbats, basically, how to do invocations, who to invoke, a number of rituals with ritual tips, affirmations, how to use them, how to use the card pack, and then there's 5 different spreads. So a triple goddess spread, a goddess cross spread, a moon goddess, a sun goddess, and a goddess pyramid of dreams, that's right. And then you have the cards themselves. Each one comes with a colour scan and a little section which is about the goddess, her history, which is very nice, then how the goddess can help you, how to interpret the card, and each card comes with an invocation, an affirmation, a tip on how to do the invocation, and a goddess power tip, which, for example, for Artemis is, a life lived with courage is a life lived to the full. So overall, it's a very nice, detailed book. It is very obviously aimed at teens, but the information is all good, all positive and empowering, and the information about the goddesses is also accurate, if historically quite short, but still, it's a good book, I'd say. As for the cards, these have a... Oh, let me move you closer. These have a yellow background. It's non-reversible, and it sort of shows stage lights shining out onto an audience, is my take on that. And the cards are very colourful. Each one has the name of the goddess and a key word, and then they're borderless, so that's really nice. And I think that there is actually quite a lot of symbolism in these. Like here, Bridget, there's the masks of drama, a violin, a painting, books, Her keyword is inspiration, and so you do get that feeling of creativity. Kali, it takes courage to stand up in front of a crowd, and here's the same stage lights but done in a pink. So there's plenty of symbolism to get your teeth into with these. And another thing that I like about it is that it really does cover quite a lot of what I would consider the most fundamental goddesses. And it does them in a very nice, funky way that does express the goddess pretty well. I also like the fact that these are very multicultural goddesses. So we have goddesses from Africa, from the Celtic pantheon, from the Pacific, from Asia. We even have a blue goddess, that's Isis. And as I say, they're all done in a very funky style, a very youthful style, but they still speak a lot, shall we say. For example, Lilith here with this snake of Kundalini energy and power, and the way she's, hands on hips certainly expresses that idea of female strength and power. So I really enjoy these cards. One of the only sort of downsides is that there are no older people shown here. They're all kind of, you can't imagine any of them being older than about, say, mid-20s. But, for example, Minerva, we've got the owl, we've got the idea of expressing your beliefs. I mean, she looks a little bit militant, but hey, that's not a bad thing. Rhiannon has her horse on her chest, and the idea of overcoming self-doubt. I really love Durga kicking her way out of trouble, and she's still got, her tigers. So the only thing is there are just all these young, beautiful women. But for example, I like the fact that Aphrodite has, a very curvaceous figure. A lot of them are quite slim, and they're all lovely. But they do have that slight variation, and as I say, for example, Maat as a female lawyer, and yet she is very Egyptian looking. So I really like the multicultural aspect of it in that sense. And I think these goddesses are very empowering. Hecate is not shown as an old woman, as you can see. She's young and beautiful and slim, but still we have the moon aspect, we have the dog, and we also have the crossroads idea. So these cards do pack a lot of information into a simplified and youthful form. And overall, I think they're very beautiful, very readable, and very interesting. I hope you found this review useful and that you'll come back again soon. In the meantime, please listen to your own inner whispers.